Okay, turn Lethal's volume down a little bit smidge, but I mean, after all the stuff that I've recorded with him, I've been more powerful, so if he gets to have the big pants here, that's fine.
Anyway, last time, to great effect, we used our transporter to apparently get to a more military portion of the military base.
Thank Jesus, right?
And apparently my equipment choices were very worthwhile. I don't know how the light or the radar would have been helpful unless we went possibly through the tunnels? I don't know.
Beats me. Well, we left it behind. Our beautiful car. We've also left behind all of our weaponry and our frag grenades.
In-game avatar, what the fuck?
You are inside a military base. It differs strikingly from the pirate base on which you... What?
This is fucking... fucking... I can't fucking... Why? Why, like, he, like, fucking, like, leaves and, like, walks through, like, a super high clearance, they're like, whoops, oh, well, I can't go back now. Left the key inside, too.
I only brought my space Slim Jim, I could figure out this situation. God damn it.
If only I brought my space coat hanger. Oh, shit. Okay, well, at least we healed. Glad we...
We ate the grenades and the blaster, it made us feel better.
And the smoke grenade, yes. You were inside of it. Maybe, like, something happened, like, between the adventures that they just cut out, and that's why suddenly we just expended all of our equipment killing a bunch of people.
Pretty much, like if you went down the tunnel way. I'm guessing that's why you have all those weapons.
Yes, I would imagine so. Anyway, you are inside a military base. It differs strikingly from the pirate base on which you've been traveling up to this point. Well, I guess that answers that fucking question. The interior is clean and sparkling. There is no rust anywhere. The information panels are hung carefully. Without moving, you determine that in order to get to the command room... So it's the pirate base that looks like... What? All the guard...
Maybe they just commandeered it because every one of the pirates just ran away like chicken shits they are.
Yes, without moving, you determine that in order to get to the command room, you will have to pass through the docking hangar in the main corridor, which is protected by military guards, and then go into the elevator and try to get up to the top level, where the command of this military operation is actually located. Fortunately, the military base is smaller in size, but you mustn't wander about the corridor for hours because every minute counts. The important thing to remember is that the military base is packed with soldiers and officers, so you'll never succeed in killing them all as you go. Your only hope is subtlety, ingenuity, and some other obscure word you heard in a joke once. Intellect.
I see. So the portion that we want to stay away from is the main corridor. And, of course, the docking hangar, which we're about to enter.
You took a final look at the familiar, beloved walls of the pirate base, and then decisively turned away and marched forward. I guess since, you know, military units had invaded the pirate base, then I guess they could have commandeered all of the nature-esque space astroturf guard posts. In which, I guess it makes more sense that the pirates have that crazy fucking car wash. I want to know what the hell, they are like, all those people were driving around transporters, though. Like, I thought... Suspend disbelief. Stop thinking logically.
They were taking them to their pirate base. They commandeered those vehicles, and we're going to use them on their base.
Yes, they're taking them space carowinds. You took... Just if I had space before everything. You took a final look at the... Space Aussie, no. You took a final... Space Australia. You took a final look at the familiar beloved walls of the pirate base, and then decisively turned away and marched forward. The hangar proved to be empty, so you made your way through it without trouble. Lower your hands, Lethal. However, you noticed a watchman at the entrance. An immense, muscular Malak is energetically yawning as he sits on a small stool, I feel like we've been here before, which is creaking violently under his weight. He doesn't seem very smart. There are no other exits to the hangar, so decide what you are going to do quickly. Wait a while, maybe he'll leave. That sounds dumb. Step decisively towards the Malak. Attack the Malak or try to slip by.
Of course. Sir, did you also work at a hospital at one time? Maybe? I see.
Hints, I feel like we've been here before.
I think we'll step decisively towards him. We'll try to use some social engineering.
Confidence. You adjusted your uniform and marched decisively toward the Malak, knitting your brows severely and blowing out your cheeks slightly for effect. The Malak gawked at you, his mouth open with surprise, while the stool under him is creaking and groaning. You had better act while you can, before he starts wondering where you came from. The watchman doesn't trust you.
Of course, we're gonna pretend this is a review. You're being reviewed.
Bureau of Administrative Review, you shouted while still approaching. Malak stood at attention and mechanically saluted you. What a disgrace! You roared even louder. You got face to face with Malak and began waving your finger in front of his nose. I will not tolerate this! Mesmerized, Malak followed your finger, and you suddenly thought up what exactly you wouldn't tolerate. The filth or the disorder?
It did...
What do you own the wall? How do you own disorder?
I was gonna say, we didn't really see any filth or disorder in that description. Maybe the disorder of his uniform? The filth of his uniform?
Cleanliness is next to godliness. I'm sure the Malak will appreciate that.
Huh. This is one of those things where it's so similar, and we weren't really given any fucking clues.
Well, I guess it had to be built based on, like, Malaks and stuff.
And how they are, yeah.
Like, do we want him to trust us? Or could we just be like, it's like this administrative asshole? Like, what would an administrative asshole sound like, I guess? I can't tolerate this filth.
Well, No, it's not filthy in here, though. It's sparkling the corridors. Or maybe it isn't as sparkling as we think it is. Damn it. Disco filth, damn it.
This is simply inconceivable, you shouted, flying into a rage. Mess, dust, filth, all around! The Malak passed over the hangar, which beamed with cleanliness, as you noted earlier whenever you looked through, like, the description and stuff.
Yep.
And you detected some doubt in his gaze. Can I see your papers? He uttered and starts, the last thing you wanted to hear.
I mean, if we showed him our ranger card, he may not... I don't know how in tune this guy is with the things, but he'd see we're at the fucking top, right? Who knows?
Like, you might not be that smart. I don't fucking know exactly
Well,
the ranger identification card.
He isn't that smart. It's told
yeah,
straight
he
up.
did say it. That's why I said, like we shouldn't ranger I don't know. Do tell.
Let's just show him the ranger card. I think we got to a checkpoint.
He hardly believes you. I guess that's better than doesn't trust you, because at least there's a small sliver.
Making progress.
You pulled your ranger identification... You pulled your ranger identification card from your pocket in a flashy black cover with the Coalition's logo embossed on the front and waved it in front of the Malak without opening it. The Major Grimith. Major Lethal, you said, jutting out your jaw instead of like... Rookie. Well done, soldier. Vigilance first. Ooh. The Malak smiled broadly, as if you had just promoted him to become an officer. So,
right.
Ask him for his name and unit number, how to get to the command room, or what his commanding officer's name is.
Well, we're trying to get to the command room. Where's the command room, dude?
He doesn't trust you.
Damn,
okay, I'm done here, you said, and you took the notepad and pretended to write something on it, then you read what you had written. Malak tried to glance at the notepad, but you deftly closed it and stuffed it back into your pocket. Now, soldier, tell me how to get to the command room, you said, just to be sure you knew the way to go. Sorry, sir, but only the High Command is allowed in the command room, said the Malak.
Motherfucker, I am High Command!
You realized that you had blundered, but it was too late to fix your mistake. And you leave. Alright, I'm off, you said to the Malak with a nod as you took a step toward the exit. Nope, hold it right there, sir. The Malak's powerful hand came to rest on your shoulder. I think you decided to pull a fast one on me. Who, me? You said innocently, turning... That's not a commanding scheme. What the fuck? Turning your eyes, but panicking inside. Yes, sir. The Malak stuck his hand into your pocket and fished out your ranger identification card. He opened it, looked inside, and chuckled. Major, you say? Well... You seem to have suffered a devastating and irreversible defeat. You weren't able to fool the dim-witted Malak. Wow. Your mission ended more tragically than you would have wanted.
Alright, let's try this again. Let's go ahead and do that whole step decisively. And this time, after we pretend, then we'll go disorder!
Only one watchman at the docking hangar, you continue shouting. This is simply inconceivable, a violation of every rule and regulation, no oversight. He even shrank slightly in size.
Wow, we reduced his size. Let's show him our card again.
He probably believes you. Maybe asking for his name and unit number.
Yeah, sure.
You've convinced the watchman. What's your name, soldier? You said, pointing with your finger at the watchman's chest. And what's your unit number? Private Kick-Tooth, sir, bellowed the watchman again, standing at full height. 42nd Company. Excellent, excellent. You scribbled something on a notepad which you had pulled from the pocket of your coveralls and offered to him. Sign here. Why? Asked Malak, beginning to panic. I mean, sorry, why, sir? Why? You exclaimed, looking at him surprised, to document the fact that there was a review. Oh, I see, said the Malak pensively, scratching the back of his head. Then he scrolled crookedly across the page. Your deception seems to have succeeded. All right, I'm off, you said the Malak with a nod. Expecting an irate scream, you took a step toward the exit. Then another and another. Incredibly, you seemed to have pulled one on the poor Malak. You almost began running, but you restrained yourself at the last minute and walked at an even pace to the hangar doors. The first stage of the operation is behind you.
Da-da-da.
Somewhere ahead of you, there should be a control point guarded by military patrols. This is the most difficult obstacle on the way to the target, you know, other than the Malak, so you must be extremely cautious. You pass through 2 corridors without encountering a soul. All of the doors you've come across on the way have been solidly locked. You stop for a moment before the next turn in the corridor and suddenly heard voices ahead. There seems to be someone around the corner. Listen.
Well, hey, listen.
You listened intently to the conversation around the corner and concluded that a guard post was actually located up ahead. You recognized at least 7 different voices. Wow, good recognition, Ranger. However, by the authoritative tone in one of the voices, you determined that the soldiers were also in company of their commanding officer. Assessing your abilities, you estimated that you could easily handle 2 soldiers, maybe even 3, if you got lucky. But simple tricks will not work on an officer.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait.
While waiting, you sharpened your ears and heard a message of the radio announcing that Admiral Durdam requires a bottle of the best champagne be delivered to the command room. 2 brave warriors were dispatched to accomplish this difficult mission. So that takes us down to 5.
Let me guess, we're gonna have these 2 brave warriors go down the hall, we'll take them out, we'll get the champagne, and bring it to them. Maybe.
I don't know.
Let's go ahead and wait again, because we're not going to attack yet.
Not only were the soldiers not diminishing in numbers while you waited, some sort of aide arrived with papers. The soldiers began to argue with him about something, and there was the sound of documents rustling. But you weren't able to clearly hear what they were talking about.
Probably the champagne. Well, anyway, let's wait.
You had nearly dozed off from boredom when a scream of pain and loud howls awoke you. One of the soldiers had been playing around with a knife and accidentally sliced his palm with the blade. The stupid soldier was sent to the infirmary and warned that the next time he pulled a mindless stunt like that, he would be sent to the lockup rather than the doctor. So that's 3 soldiers gone. That still leaves more than we can handle.
Yep, 3. Plus we also have the commanding officer. Alright, wait.
You froze in place and began to bide your time, hoping that nobody would come around the corner and discover you there. You waited for some time, but based on the sound of it, nothing changed.
Guess we'll continue to wait because, I mean, we had... Hey, something's happening.
Okay. While you waited at the guard post, a message was announced over the internal network regarding the possible presence of enemy forces in Quadrant B4. A team of 3 soldiers was immediately dispatched there. You prayed fervently to all the known gods that Quadrant B4 might not be located between you and the soldiers, and apparently, somebody heard you. The footsteps of the departing soldiers clattered away from you, so I guess...
I guess this would be the time.
4 minus 3 is 1, so I guess attack.
Yep, attack!
You decided that there was no point to waiting longer and that it was time to attack. Cautiously slipping out from behind the corner, you surveyed the scene before you with a skillful eye. The corridor ahead was blocked by a small turnstile, which wasn't working for some reason, though this was better for you. An iron cabinet as tall as a person stands off to your right. Immediately behind it is a little table which the soldiers have gathered around. You quickly counted them up. 2. On the far end of the corridor there is an elevator. You need to think of something to do before the soldiers discover your presence. Fall on your enemies with a knife, try to topple the captain onto the soldiers, or toss a coin to distract them. I imagine their officers still among them, and the ranger said that he could take at least 2, maybe 3.
It's true. And we've proven ourselves not to be the stealth genius that 47 is, clearly, wink wink.
Just
Stealth
toss a
genius
fucking-
47. I'd like to topple the cabinet on them too, though. Sounds pretty neat. And then we could get the last one, right?
I probably could save some health. I don't know.
Let's go ahead and try a topple on them. We've already died once.
You strained and brought all your strength to bear on the cabinet. It slowly but surely tipped over, landing on one of the soldiers. While it was falling, you pulled out your knife and attacked the others. You couldn't do a thing to resist your mastery, the cold weapon. And in half a minute, you had already wiped the blood off your blade onto the pants of one of the fallen soldiers. Your ambush seems to have succeeded. How wonderful. Elevator time. You entered the elevator and looked around. Your field of view took in the floor, ceiling, double door, and 3 walls, the control panel on one of them. There were only 4 buttons on the control panel. You probably need the top button, because the second and third buttons are labeled barracks. Ending up there would be as dangerous as being thrown into outer space without a spacesuit. You pressed the top button, but the elevator didn't move. Rather, the control panel began to flash. Access card required. Unfortunately, you don't have an access card and you have nowhere to get one. Neither do you have time to think. Soldiers could appear at any moment. You went into a rage and banged on the control panel to vent your anger. Happy birthday to the bird! To your surprise, something in the control panel cracked and its hinges swung open. Basically, this entire ranger's life is like hinged on luck.
How perfect for Ranger Lethal.
And its hinges swung open. You peered inside and saw a tangle of colored wires. Oh god. After a close examination, you determined that 2 bundles of wires were responsible for lifting the elevator to the top level. If you try to connect them the right way, you could probably make the elevator go up even without an access card. I'm glad this is low-tech enough for you to be able to fucking sabotage this shit.
I know, I'm glad we, couldn't do this over the hospital also.
Yes. You try to connect the important thing to do is as quickly as possible before somebody finds you with broken equipment. Start tampering with the system that you can't trust. 13 minutes remaining. There are 2 bundles of wires before you. They are responsible for lifting the elevator to the level at the command room. Each wire has a tiny identification label. Only wires with identical labels should be connected. Moreover, the floor display has turned into a countdown timer. You don't want to think about what will happen when time runs out. What are you going to do?
I fucking love how a timer's just shown up on the floor. Like the entire floor is now like a timer. What the fuck? Well, actually, it's just telling us like the floors. But either way, I like to imagine that the elevator floor is now a timer.
Beep, beep.
What the fuck? All right, well we gotta be smart. So let's look at the labels first.
And then when the timer expires, Jack Bauer appears and fucking destroys. All right, we'll check the label on a wire from the first bundle.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you like to check?
Oh god. Okay, let's just start with the first one.
First wire, first bundle. Red triangle.
Let me get out a fucking notepad here, or a Vim, rather. Let's see. 1-1 is red tri. Alright. Let's check one from the first bundle again. We need to check all. It took us a full minute to read that shit.
I think we have to find a matching. Do you remember what the instructions were?
Well, it said connecting. We just have to connect them of the same thing. So we could go to the second bundle and try to find another red triangle.
That took an entire minute. We don't have that much time.
Alright, let's go to the second bundle then. Try to find a red triangle. First wire.
Blue square.
Hits. Okay. 2-1. Square. Alright. Let's keep checking those second bundles.
2-2. Yellow circle.
Why does this sound bad? Why is this deja vu all over again?
2-3 is orange oval.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
2-4 is green diamond. What is this,
Well,
PlayStation?
Just watch them in the same bundle? What the fuck?
In what 2.5 might not even be like the same fucking like watch it has like none of those shapes.
It might not be. Let's see. Second bundle. That's
Red triangle.
Fucking goddamn yes.
It does. It does. Like, was it a red triangle or was it like?
Yes, it was a red triangle. I have it on my notes, so we'll connect the first one to the fifth one.
Okay, first to fifth. You connect it. Oh shit. Looks like wasting time checking that thing on the second bundle there was a terrible idea.
Well, alright, let's continue to the first bundle. We need to figure out some wires.
Second wire. Blue square.
Blue square, well, we know which one that one is.
So, what do I connect?
You'll be connecting the second wire of the first bundle to the first wire of the second bundle. There you go.
Okay, and now we'll check 3. Orange oval.
Orange oval, alright. You'll want to connect that wire to the third of the second bundle.
Okay, so, because we barely just have enough time, we're gonna have to guess.
We're gonna have to guess what could possibly go wrong. We'll select the fourth wire of the first bundle. Alright.
And maybe it won't be the same, or maybe it will be the same.
Let's see. Of the second bundle, we know that the yellow circle is the second one, and we know that the fourth one is a green diamond.
Yeah, right, but that was the fourth one that I just picked, so do you think 4 would line up to 4? Or do you think 4 would not line up to 4? Do you think
Let's do it on the second one.
Yay! As soon as you connected the last pair of wires, the elevator doors closed and it started to run plates lifting you upward. Apparently you did everything right. Woo! As time expired. That was intense.
The floor timer fades, and we see just the cold ground again.
The elevator finally reached the top level and gently came to a halt. You prepared yourself emotionally for the fact that anything might be waiting for you. The elevator doors opened and you immediately heard an authoritative voice bark, "Private Bobson, suck in your gut! It's not dinner time! Like this! Remember, occupying this post is a great honor and responsibility. The priceless exhibits here belong to Admiral Durham personally. If anything happened to them, he would shoot you down at a minimum. Don't even breath when you're walking by them. Not once. Bobson, shot down. Go check the elevator. Something's not right with it." The soldiers probably noticed that the elevator doors opened, but nobody came out. You need to think of something to do before you're discovered.
So can we get up there and like pull them up with the fiber wire?
Cling to the wall, maybe they won't notice, or charge out to meet your enemies.
Well, like clinging to the wall, they're gonna walk in there.
And that's when you like try to like CQC them, whereas you're like blitzing out into them.
I mean, we have a Malak. I'm like showing with my mouse here, like you guys can see it. But
I know there's a Malak. That means that we can like befuddle him. Maybe he won't check the wall.
I mean, let's just charge out and pretend we belong there, I guess. Try to social engineer it. I don't know, because like hiding in the elevator, I think we're just gonna get pounded into submission. Unless we like take out 1 or 2 of them, and then we have to take out the rest. I don't know, let's charge.
Charge! You pulled out your knife and jumped out of the elevator right into 2 soldiers, who recoiled in surprise but quickly came to their sense and opened fire. Naturally, you didn't wait for them to hit you and began to dodge and evade. "Cease fire!" screamed the officer desperately when a stray bullet hit the wall near one of the works of art. You glanced around and observed that both sides of the corridor in front of you were lined with all sorts of antique junk. Just by looking at them, you can tell that several of the exhibits are wildly expensive. If not for them, you would have been riddled with bullets by now. You need to continue to take advantage of this, because you are unlikely to be able to cope with 4 enemies. Throw the collectible model of a spaceship at your enemies, throw a goblet made of a precious metal at your enemy, jump into Houdini's box, pull a trick maneuver and stab your enemy with a knife, take cover behind an ancient Gallian umbrella, throw an enormous aquarium with exotic salmon fish at your opponent. Throw a fucking enormous aquarium. Okay,
Dude, you don't know how strong I am. I just busted an elevator. Come on.
Strike your opponent with an ancient knight's lance, or run forward through the corridor.
All of these sound pretty awesome, except for the last one. Except for Houdini's box. I don't think that's going to really help anyone. It just sounds like a... Yes, and then they put it up on in the fucking ring.
And then they put the swords in the box.
Alright, well, let's... I like to take cover behind the ancient Galleon umbrella. Like, pick it up and use it as a shield.
You seized a large, decorative umbrella from a mannequin's hand and hid behind it when you saw that your enemy was about to throw a knife at you. Unfortunately, the old material didn't save you, and the knife passed through it like an unlucky ranger would pass through a Gobzaurus' esophagus. Though undeniably faster, the knife pierced your collarbone, causing unthinkable suffering, and you lost 10 points of health.
Son of a bitch, I needed that. Let's strike your opponent with an ancient knight's lance.
You grabbed a long, striped lance from a knight mannequin, which was part of an exhibit on ancient Earth, and rushed to attack your enemy, but you weren't used to the weapon and stuck into the floor, and you flew over the stunned soldier like a high jumper, landing in the middle of the corridor. The lance hit the soldier on the head, but not very hard, and he only rubbed the back of his head before charging at you again, minus 10 health.
Alright.
It's tricky.
Let's throw the fucking aquarium, man.
Lost 10 health. You grabbed the aquarium, strained all your muscles, held your breath, and couldn't make it budge, but the water was just too heavy. Exotic fish looked at you reproachfully from behind the glass. When the butts of the soldiers' guns came down on your back, the fishes moved, brightened remarkably.
Son of a bitch. Throw a fucking goblet at these bastards.
Alright, that took down a guard. You snatched some golden goblet lined with tacky pebbles from a stone pedestal and sent it flying straight at your enemy's head. He threw up his hands to block the blow, but not fast enough. The goblet hit him right in the noggin. The soldier's eyes rolled back, and he thudded to the ground unconscious. The fact that the collision with his head protected the goblet from harm won't be comforting to him when he regains consciousness.
Alright, flexible model of the ship. Launch it.
Launch.
All fighters.
No.
Damn it.
You snatched the model ship and were disappointed to discover it was hollow and didn't weigh much at all. But you couldn't do anything to change that. You hurled the model at your enemy, but he easily caught it and carefully put it on the floor. Immediately after that, he dug into your ribs with the butt of his gun and smashed your jaw with his fist.
Alright, Gabe. Let me go ahead and call out your bullshit. You need to take advantage of this. So, when you say take advantage of this, you mean don't take advantage of this. Let's just pull a trick maneuver and stab him, I guess.
No. Your knife dance ended poorly. The enemy, on the other hand, tricked you with a fake move, and instead of stabbing him, you took a blow from his knife. This proved to be very painful.
Well, let's just jump in the fucking box, then.
Okay, you dodged the enemy's blow and another, then in order to avoid being hit, jumped into a large box upholstered with some purple material which said in large letters, Houdini! You had just made it inside when the door of the box slammed closed behind your back with a bang, and you felt slightly dizzy. How great was your surprise when, after plowing through the door, you found yourself at an entirely different end of the corridor, and the box behind you imploded as...
His mind just blown. That's what that sound was. That wasn't him forcing, like, air between his lips. No, that was his mind blowing.
Like, I figured, like, choosing that would equal, like, fucking, like, death or something, or at least losing hit points. Apparently, no. Unfortunately, your mysterious teleportation didn't especially impress your enemy, and we have new options.
I know, apparently there's going to be one right option and a bunch of shit options. Although we did take out one with, the goblet.
Yeah, we, might have more right options around here. Stick to the edge of the carpeted path, wind yourself up in the curtain, throw a piece of coal from the fireplace at your opponent, throw a crocus implanter at your opponent, throw a vintage communication device at your opponent, or run toward the elevator.
Well, you know, if it was one of those Nokia phones, that could do some serious damage. Throw the vintage communication device.
Lose 10 health.
Damn it.
You grabbed some protruding part of the bulky device and lobbed it at the enemy. It flew at its target, gaining speed, but halfway there it suddenly dropped to the ground with a crash, like a battered bomber airplane, and scattered into pieces. You probably should have unplugged it first, but it's too late to be sorry about that. Unfortunately, the enemy didn't even try to save the rarity, focusing instead on throwing a knife at you. Well, these guys are probably going to lose their job after this. So
Fuck my
good.
confident avatar. Damn it.
Well, throwing his... I don't know.
I don't think the piece of coal would do jack shit. I don't think it's gonna kill anyone.
No.
Although I wouldn't have said that about the goblet either. Maybe it's just really heavy metal. Winding myself up in the curtain's probably gonna be like the same thing as the Houdini thing. Or maybe it's a trap.
I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know what a crocus even is.
Neither do I. Maybe when you shove in the curtain, you can, like, use that to, like, deflect like a knife. Like, you take someone's arm with it. Ah!
Sure, why not?
No. You ran up to an enormous curtain that hung near one of the walls, which served as part of the exposition. You began wrapping yourself up in it clockwise. Unfortunately, your enemy didn't embrace the idea of playing hide and seek rather than fighting, kicked you out of your little home. Try to figure out what the options the game wants you to pick.
Okay,
And
let's
hope
throw...
that next time, whenever you lose, that these options do not change.
Yep, let's throw a crocus. I want to see what it does. Then we'll stick to the
We'll
path.
lose to health.
Yep.
You grabbed the plant and raised it over your head. However, shaking the flowers caused a blanket of pollen to pour onto you and began to sneeze. You began to sneeze mercilessly. Edge of the curve of the path, loosed in health.
Fuck you, game.
You exerted yourself and kept to the edge of the path, but you were unable to displace your enemies. Far too many of them had amassed on the path. They began kicking us with heavy boots.
I guess we're throwing a piece of coal.
Well, we killed a guard, but it also took down 10 of our health. You fought bravely and selflessly. However, the odds were too much in favor of the enemy. After picturesquely falling on your knees, you clutched one hand against your chest and thrust the other toward the stars, which unfortunately were not invisible because the ceiling cried out, "Pirates! Coalition! I'm dying! A plague on both of your houses!" And you fell on your face and ceased to show any sign of life. Fucking dramatic cunt waffle. We're leaving you there. You're back.